On this episode of the Darius Foroux Show, I share how Warren Buffett accumulated his first $100,000, his first million, and his first billion. So Warren Buffett is currently worth $89 billion, and he's been consistently the richest person in the world for a long time now. Or at least he's been in the top 3 for a long time. Now, how did he do this? A lot of you know that Warren Buffett's secret has been compounding. Albert Einstein called compounding the 8th wonder in the world. And it is truly like magic the way that compounding works, because over years, especially if you get consistent returns on your investment, let's say 10 to 15%, which is what Warren Buffett has accomplished, even more than that. But that's not even the point. If you get consistent return on your investment, it will compound year after year. And if you keep adding to those investments, all of a sudden your investments will skyrocket. And that's what we'll see later on this episode. And the purpose of this episode is to show you how Warren Buffett accumulated his net worth over 88 years. He's now 88 years as I'm recording this video, and he's worth $89 billion. So how did he do it? Well, he started at age 11, and that's when he made his first investment. And I read Warren Buffett's biography, and one of the things that I noticed was his mindset. From an early age, he already knew that he was going to be rich. He already said it. He said, "I knew that I will be rich in my lifetime." And he was always interested in money and making money and generating value. And he wasn't that much interested in spending money, and that hasn't changed much. And there is a relationship between those things, but we'll talk about that later on. But think about it. He was 11 years old when he made his first investment. Now, fast forward to age 26, this is when Warren Buffett stopped working for his mentor, Benjamin Graham. So the investors that are watching or listening all know Benjamin Graham, the founder of value investing, and Warren Buffett is also a value investor, which is basically value investors invest in companies for the long term. And the difference between value investing and trading or speculating is that value investors don't buy or invest in a stock only to want to sell it later on at a higher price point. That's what speculators do. They buy something that doesn't necessarily have underlying value, like Bitcoin, and they hope it will increase in price and they'll sell it later on. But that is not what Warren Buffett has done or has ever done in his life. Well, actually, he has done it. He admitted, but he found out that it wasn't for him. He bought investments and held on to them forever. So by age 26, Warren Buffett had already accumulated somewhere between $140,000 to $170,000 back then. If we adjust it for inflation, that's more than $1 million, right? By age 26. But we have to remind ourselves, Warren Buffett started investing at age 11. That means he already had 15 years of experience under his belt. 15 years is a long time. Think about how long you are currently doing something, having a specific job or learning a skill, or maybe you are investing. How long are you doing that? And think about those 15 years. It's a lot, right? If I look at myself, I've been investing for about 5 years. Seriously, I made my first investment when I was 18, 19 years old. But after that, I lost money, and then I got really upset, and then I didn't invest for a long time. But if you look at Warren Buffett, he's been doing this consistently, right? So for a lot of people, it's easy to look at it and say, oh, wow, he was really lucky, or he had a few big breaks, which is obviously also the case. But we also have to remind ourselves, 15 years of doing something consistently is a long time. So by the time Warren Buffett was already wealthy, he had been investing for 15 years at the time for himself, accumulated money there, but he also had a job working for his mentor, and he earned a salary, and I think I read somewhere that it was like $12,000 a year, right? But he never spent a lot of money. So that's why he accumulated that much money. So at age 26, in today's money, Warren Buffett was a millionaire. but he also had 15 years of experience in investing, and he worked for one of the most important investors of all time, and a man that Warren Buffett considered his mentor, Benjamin Graham. And to look at the significance of this, the book by Benjamin Graham, The Value Investor or The Intelligent Investor, has been considered a classic for several decades now. And Warren Buffett worked with the man every single day. So this is something that we also should not forget, that Warren Buffett did not only make a lot of money back then by simply investing, or it sounds, we all, look, I also make this trap, right? We look at these charts, we look at Warren Buffett's history, and we can say, oh, he made money by simply investing, which is obviously not the case. We're simplifying his history right here. But there are a lot of lessons that we can learn. One of them is that it takes a lot of time to get good at something, but also it takes a lot of time to compound your earnings. When you start from zero, and that's when Warren Buffett started. But the thing is, he started very early at age 11. That's something that we often forget as well. So these are important lessons that everybody can apply to their own life, not only to their career, but also to their investing strategy. I myself, I also believe more in the value investing strategy, which is having a long-term perspective. And if we look at Warren Buffett's life, it has definitely paid off. And we're only at age 26 right now. The man already accumulated more than $1 million in today's money, but he also had the privilege of working with a man who founded a whole new investment strategy that became really successful over the years. And a lot of people followed in Benjamin Graham's and Warren Buffett's footsteps. Now, I think what happened after age 26 is almost like something that was supposed to happen, because Warren Buffett was already on track here. He started to accumulate his net worth, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of knowledge, building connections, building a network. And this is also the year when he started his own partnership. And I think this is really important. When we start our career or when we start working for somebody, we have to be like a sponge, learn everything, and make sure that we are humble and keep on developing ourselves, acquiring new skills. But at some point, I think everybody in their life should take ownership of their career. You should either start a business or take your money, invest it, have ownership somewhere, whether that's property, stocks, a business, it doesn't matter. I think you need to take charge of your own life, your own destiny, by acquiring wealth and building wealth. So these are the lessons that I learned from Warren Buffett. Now, there's one final lesson that I want to share with you before we get to the very obvious of how he became a billionaire. The early years are really important. And this is something that I often found people overlook when they say, all right, great, Warren Buffett became a millionaire back in his time at age 30. He made his first million. And from there on, he kept on investing, acquiring new businesses, kept on investing the money that he made, reinvested it, and he got consistent returns on his investments, and everything compounded. And by age 55, somewhere between 53, 56 years old, he made his first billion, right? And from that point on, the power of compounding took care of the rest. And now the man is worth almost $90 billion, right? But what's that final lesson that I want to share here? In those early years, right, you need to make money. And this is something that a lot of people forget. They look at investors and say, hey, the investor just uses the power of compounding. That's great and all. But where does your money come from in the beginning. So Warren Buffett had all kinds of side jobs when he was as a kid. He hustled for money, and everything that he made, he saved, and then he bought stocks because he was obsessed with stocks, right? He worked and he worked. He made money, saved it, bought stocks. But a lot of people assume that somebody should hand you a lump of money and say, oh, here you go, invest it or start a business. But that's not how it works. We all have to learn how to make money in terms of generating value or having a job, starting a business, and creating value so we can make money. That's a skill, right? And Warren Buffett really perfected that skill and acquired the skill in his early years. You know, having all kinds of jobs, making money, and then having a job working for his mentor. Often people forget this as well. Warren Buffett had a job, right? He just made $12,000 back in the time. Probably it's like maybe 50,000 adjusted for inflation right now. But I don't know exactly how much it is. But what matters is work, make your money, save it, and then invest it, right? And this is something that that I only learned from studying Warren Buffett. People that I've talked to, investors locally, right, that I know personally, who have acquired a few million dollars of wealth in real estate or in stocks, they all said the same thing. Learn how to make money and then invest it, and then the power of compounding will take care of the rest. So this is how Warren Buffett became a billionaire. You can use the same principles to become a millionaire or even just to be wealthy. And you don't have to be a millionaire to be wealthy. You know, you can have a few $100,000 of net worth, live frugally, and still be very comfortable. It all depends on your goals. Some people want to be a millionaire, some people don't. But what matters to me, I think, and I think this is something that is universal across mankind, we all want to live a good life, and we all have to realize that being comfortable requires a lot of work, right? And once we get to that point where we have accumulated the money and the skills and the network and we know how to make money, this will take care of the rest. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to share or comment or subscribe to the show. And until next episode, like always, take care. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to check out some of my other videos. And also, don't forget to sign up to my newsletter to get 2 free ebooks in your inbox.